It's National Apprenticeship Week and I'm now off to Unity 101, the South's only Asian and ethnic radio station, to talk about what we're doing here at Kiwi Education. So let's go. Being based here in the city centre of Southampton, the best way of getting around is using one of these.
A few moments later.
Hello and welcome back to Unity 101 on Drive Time. Now, joining us here in the studio is Managing Director of Kiwi Education, Michael Steele. Hello,
Good
Michael.
afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thanks so much for taking time to join us about apprenticeships and National Apprenticeship Week. So can you tell us a bit more about Kiwi Education and what it does, basically?
Yeah, sure. So Kiwi Education, we're Southampton's largest independent training provider. We're celebrating our 10-year anniversary this year, Isaac, which is incredible. I myself, born here, educated here in Southampton, and was an apprentice myself 20 years ago this year. So I set Kiwi Education up 10 years ago to enable people within the city to reach their full potential. And so today we deliver a wide variety of apprenticeships, courses for adults and also young people programs who are unemployed and who are not in education, employment or training from 16 to 24. Traineeships.
Very nice, yeah. So what sort of specific apprenticeships do you offer then here in the South?
It's a whole wide variety, really. So at the moment we deliver many corporate apprenticeships, so working with small, medium, large organisations in the city, and they can be through from HR apprenticeships, accountancy apprenticeships, digital marketing apprenticeships, through to customer service, retail. It's a real wide variety, and essentially it's about working with people who are employed, and those apprentices could be 16 or our oldest apprentice is actually 87. So wow. It's really about lifelong learning apprenticeships. This year we plan to move and diversify into some new apprenticeships that are coming up, but predominantly at the moment it's all around kind of corporate apprenticeships and those type of sectors. Very
nice, yeah. So what do you think makes National Apprenticeship Week such an important week in the calendar then?
I think National Apprenticeship Week is a hugely important milestone in the year because it's about the celebration of vocational education. Not every young person is suited to go down the traditional academic road of college and university. Of course, college and university is really important, and I work in partnership with our local colleges and universities and celebrate the success of their students. But that's not right for everybody. And there is a growing sense in the country that apprenticeships are very attractive to young people. The reason being is because you're going to be employed with an employer, and you're going to be learning lots of experience. You're going to be gaining exactly the same qualification as you would at university, because apprenticeships now go up to doctorate level. And of course, you're going to be earning, and the employer's going to be paying for the apprenticeship. So actually, you'll come out at the end with experience, a qualification, no student debt, and a job. And so they're becoming a lot more attractive to young people who are looking at the options.
Yeah, and obviously that's a very appealing sort of thing, isn't it? Paid at a young age to learn as well, which is very exciting. So what do you think sort of apprenticeships have you seen being sort of most popular or grown the most sort of over the last few years?
I think the digital age of apprenticeships has really increased. So people may think of apprenticeships as the traditional courses, such as things like motor mechanics or plumbing or electrical, and those apprenticeships are of course still popular. But some of the newer ones in the digital age, I mean certainly one of the digital ones that we deliver, which is digital marketer, is really popular. And as we move into later this year and the subsequent years, green apprenticeships will be becoming far more available and more popular with people as they start to again look at their options on what they want to do. The jobs market is becoming very, very competitive, and so people need to demonstrate to employers about what they can bring to the job. And I think apprenticeships are going to be an area where a lot of people will think, actually, I want to do that job and I want to gain a qualification, and actually I want to do a kind of real cutting edge qualification. Actually, this could be a better option for me.
Yeah, and I mean, apprenticeships have grown massively over the few years, haven't they? They never used to be like a big thing, but nowadays you see all sorts of people doing them.
And I think also as well with some young people, I mean, again, it's about earning, and students who are at university, perhaps a part-time job, it's quite clear as well that it's taking them longer if they are not lucky enough to be given some money from relatives or parents to get on the housing ladder. Actually, they need to be earning money now to be able to save up for a deposit and enter the property market, as an example. And so apprentices statistically are going to get there sooner because of course they're earning and they are putting that money to good use in terms of saving up for a deposit and then entering the market. Now, not every person doing an apprenticeship is paid the apprentice wage, and it's important for me to say that because at Kiwi Education, as an example, we joined the movement quite some time ago where we don't work with employers that pay the apprentice minimum wage. Now, the apprentice minimum wage is £4 something an hour. To be honest, I don't even know the figure off the top of my head because why would I don't work with employers that pay it. But there are some colleges and providers that do work with employers that pay that wage, and that's perfectly fine, but it's not fine for me at Kiwi. And so I have apprentices that are earning, very, very, very good, decent salaries, and they're doing their qualification on top, and that's definitely something that should be celebrated. And that's what National Apprenticeship Week is all about. It is about celebrating the success of young people and older people in apprenticeships, but also it's about celebrating the diversity, like you touched on, in terms of the different types of apprenticeships out there now. Right through from radio broadcast apprenticeships through to agriculture apprenticeships to care apprenticeships, digital apprenticeships, green apprenticeships. It's really, really widespread now.
Yeah, and obviously I know lots of apprenticeships you can get big qualifications as well as being paid. So do you know what sort of, for example, qualifications could you get from doing different apprenticeships? Well,
again, it depends on the sector you're in, but if you take, for instance, the operations departmental management apprenticeship that we offer at Kiwi, I mean, that's equivalent to a foundation degree. And so, there are some apprenticeships that you could progress on to in partnership with some of the universities where, again, you'll be walking out in your cap and your cloak at the end of the year because you've achieved and you've got the same qualification as those that have got their degree. But again, you're employed, you're earning money, and you've got no debt. We've been recently looking at implementing a new level 7 apprenticeship, which is the top level that you can deliver in strategic management. And so again, there are lots of different levels and different apprenticeships, but it's all about what's right for the individual, essentially. I think there will always be a place for going to college and to go to university, of course, but it depends on the destination and where you're going. I never went to university myself personally, but I went down the vocational route and feel I'm very much on the journey towards reaching my full potential, and that's all any of us can ever strive to do. And so if that means that going down the vocational education road is different to going down the academic road, then either one is not better than the other. It's just different.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's great stuff. So what sort of advice would you give then an individual looking to apply for an apprenticeship?
I would say really think about, where you see yourself in 10 years' time, where you see yourself in 5 years' time, and where you see yourself in, let's say, 2 years' time. I think that depending on what you want to do, can give you really different options on the way to move forward. I mean, some people I've worked with, have never decided what they want to do, and actually that's great because you can try out lots of different things. But it depends on your personal circumstances as well. I know some people nowadays that simply just can't afford to go to university because the immediate costs of what's going on in their lives right now means that they do need to work. But what I would suggest to people is that every day is a learning day. The world is moving so quickly, and education and learning is so important. Those that I'll give you an analogy, Isaac. I was talking to someone yesterday around mobile phones, and I said to this person, if I gave you my mobile phone from 10 years ago in comparison to my mobile phone today, it's obviously going to be very different, of course. But to use those two mobile phones a decade apart, you need to be educated and you need to learn. And so we do learn every day, but there are lots and lots of subjects and life skills and personable skills that we don't naturally pick up on or learn, and that's what apprenticeships do. So in, let's say, a team leading apprenticeship, which is the first apprenticeship within the family of management apprenticeships, you're learning about as a manager, as a leader, how can I get the best out of my, member of my team? How can I performance manage them? How can I motivate them? And everybody's different. So you're learning these personable skills. You won't learn that in a classroom. You won't learn that, by theorizing through books. It's about having a trainer, an apprenticeship trainer with you, where you can talk through examples and try different things and try and get the best out of what you do. Only, I think, the theoretical side can do so much. Apprenticeships are all about practicalities. So if I was that young person, I'd be sat there thinking, right, let's look at the options. What's right for me? How do I like to learn? Do I want to sit in a classroom, or actually do I want to be in the workplace? Do I want a trainer on a one-to-one basis? Am I quite happy sitting in an auditorium listening to a teacher or a professor? How do I like to learn? What do I want to do? Where do I see myself going?
Yeah, cool. So in terms of Kiwi Education then, what or have you got anything on the horizon for the coming year? Any new courses, any new ideas or anything?
Oh, it's all going on this year. It really is all going on this year. So, we celebrate our 10-year anniversary this year, which is incredible. We're also celebrating our first year in our new head office, which is on Portland Terrace in Southampton, and that's right next to West Quay. So, lovely, one of the large white period buildings. We are moving into green skills this year. So we're delivering a lot more short courses to enable people to upskill themselves in the area of green, which is coming. There's some new green apprenticeships that are being released this year, so we're going to be participating in that. As a business, we're moving towards becoming a true green employer, but also, of course, our business is education, and so we're moving towards becoming a niche provider in the green sector, which is really exciting. I myself am off to Antarctica in 2 weeks' time, so I'll be launching and flying the flag for green skills there. I'm on a serious mission to see the impact of climate change on what's happening down on the South Pole, and that will be the beginnings of us moving towards a space where we'll be working with local employers and learners here in Southampton to support them on their green journey. So we're very firmly on ours, but we're going to be working with lots of people from lots of different communities here in Southampton to support them on their journey to become green as well.
Very nice, very nice. So, a bit of a broader question then. Over the last 10 years, what would you say? What would you say is? I don't want to say best bit, but how have you seen apprenticeships grown, and how's that been really cool to see from your perspective?
I think that the brand of apprenticeships has increased positively over the last decade. I think that the apprenticeship programme itself does need some further reform, and I don't believe that we're going to see that reform until the next election. Whichever party gets into power, I think that we won't see any changes until then, because we're only 18 months or away really. I think that there is more manoeuvring that needs to be done with apprenticeships. I think they need to become a little bit more flexible. They were more flexible 10 years ago to what they are today. So I think there is room for change, but I think that the kind of the reputation and the perception of apprenticeships has become a lot more popular. And of course there's now legislation in schools that schools have to engage with apprenticeship providers such as us, independent providers and colleges, and talk to them about other options. So it was easy a number of years ago to just to say, everyone's going to go to college and then that was it. Whereas now schools have a responsibility to invite providers in, such as Kiwi, to talk to their students about options, that it's not just about going to college, that actually there are, because of course we have a skills shortage, we have a job shortage, and employers in the city are really, really, really keen to engage with young people as early as possible and start to develop them and move them into the vacancies that we so desperately need to fill here in the city. So we want to harness the best talent here in Southampton. We want to keep them here within the city. I would love to keep as many young people here in the city, and of course employers, they don't want them to go to university in Manchester and stay there. We want to keep the best talent here, and as I said earlier, people can reach their full potential by going down the apprenticeship route.
Awesome. Well, that sounds all very exciting. So One final question then. What, this is something just I'm intrigued in.
Please.
Where did the name Kiwi Education come from?
I love that question. Everybody asks me that question, which is, as you said you were going to ask me a question, I knew it was going to be that. Kiwi is, so essentially I said at the beginning of this interview that 10 years ago I founded Kiwi Education, and I really wanted, being in the education sector for 20 years, I really wanted to have a provider that done things quite differently, that actually it wasn't just about the way that we've always done things, and we are quite different. I am quite different in the world of education, and my trainers and my team, who are incredible at Kiwi, are all quite different. And with Kiwi and where in the world I decided to go down this road, I was down in Australia, which is I wasn't quite in New Zealand, but I was in that region of the world, and that's where I decided to do it. And I came back to the UK and embarked on this journey. So when you actually download the list of training providers right across the country, they're all quite samey. They're all quite solutions or skills or 3 letters shoved together or something like that. With Kiwi, I spoke to a learner, an apprentice, and the apprentice said to me, we really want it to be something really different, really short, easy to remember, easy to spell. Maybe it can be a bit of fruit, because everything's a bit of fruit nowadays, Michael, whether it's an apple or a blackberry or an orange or whatever it might be. We wanted an international flavour to it. We wanted it to be quite different, really strong branding, really strong colour scheme. And after a long period of time of debating and choosing and going through logos and all of that kind of stuff, it's a big deal to choose the name. Kiwi appeared to me, and it's stuck ever since. And it's I think it represents us beautifully, and our branding, our marketing, who we are. It really does embody everybody within the organisation, and most importantly, which is what is the running theme through the whole organisation, through from apprenticeships to short courses, whatever it might be, is fun. And education has to be fun, because if it's not fun, then essentially, you're not going to get excited about it. You're not going to want to do your work. You're not going to want to complete. It has to be fun, and I have that as a running theme through Kiwi.
Good. Well, it's also a tasty fruit, isn't it? So
it is.
Yeah,
it is. It is my favourite fruit as well.
Oh, well, there you go.
Which
Perfect.
helps.
Yeah. So where can people find some more information about Kiwi Education?
Yeah, well, of course, you can visit our website. That's the easiest place to find us, which is www.kiwieducation.co.uk. Of course, you can find us on Portland Terrace. Our offices are there. Anybody is welcome in any time of the day, so please wander in and pick up some further information. You can give us a call on 02380 170 380, or you can email us hello@kiwieducation.co.uk. So there's a wide variety of ways to contact us, and there is a link, I am led to believe, on the Unity 101 website, of course, which is unity101.org.
Absolutely, yes, do check that out if you want some more information. Well, thank you, Michael, for chatting this afternoon.
It's been a pleasure, Isaac. Yes, thank you very much for inviting me in, and happy National Apprenticeship Week.
Happy National Apprenticeship Week. Have a good rest of the day. That was Michael Steele talking about Kiwi Education there. We'll be back after this next track.